So let me tell you something. Spee's Africa streams, they hit differently, fam. Way better than his streams anywhere else, especially in Europe. I'm noticing it. And I gotta ask, are you noticing too? Because it's all love over there.
Korea, Korea! Korea, Korea! Would you like to try?
Hold on, wait. This is how I make shea butter?
Yes.
I love shea butter.
You do?
Yes.
You have to sit down.
Sit down?
Sit right here.
I watched iShowSpeed live stream in Ghana for 5 hours. I don't normally watch his live, so the only reason I watched it was because it was in Ghana. But what was interesting was...
So let me tell you something. Spee's Africa streams, they hit differently, fam. Way better than his streams anywhere else, especially in Europe. I'm noticing it. And I gotta ask, are you noticing too? Because it's all love over there. The vibes, pure good energy, no drama, no crazy names being yelled at him, just people vibing, doing his catchphrases, embarking with him like it's a whole movement. And hold up, he even met the president of Angola. You know, he's out here living, doing races, and it's all good times. Honestly, this is the energy we need everywhere. But here's the thing. Why are the people in Africa treating Spee so much better than in some other places? Especially Eastern Europe, where it's not always the same vibe. Could it be that people have been misrepresenting Africa for years? Maybe they don't really know the place. I'm just saying, I'm noticing a difference. Africa's showing up, and it's a whole nother level of love and respect. That's what's up.
Korea, Korea! Korea, Korea! Would you like to try?
Hold on, wait. This is how I make shea butter?
Yes.
I love shea butter.
You do?
Yes.
You have to sit down.
Sit down?
Sit right here. And this is for you. Okay. Welcome to the Royal Palace of Shea Butter.
Okay. This is the Royal Palace of Shea Butter.
Korea, Korea!
iShowSpeed in Ghana was beautiful, okay? My Ghanaian people, you did your big one. You made all of us proud. The way I was watching that, so beautiful. I thought everything was amazing. I just love how Speed just deep dived into that mango, the way we were all taught to eat mango as kids. But one thing I want to point out with Speed is that this guy has not gotten sick this entire African tour. Like, has he gotten sick at all? Because I know the bravest people that go home at least 3 times a year or even more. And for some reason, they still get some sort of stomach bug. But shout out to his doctors and everyone around him, because the way it, at least for me, it looks like he hasn't gotten any stomach anything, is super brave. And Ghana, your culture, everything, oh my gosh, you guys represented so well. The only thing I wish, which I saw in most of the West and Central African countries, is like the way jollof has a chokehold on all of us. Like, there's so much other food. I mean, the jollof is good, but why do we just keep offering him jollof, like a whole basin of, or whatever, tub of jollof? Like, I hope he's eating other things from your countries and all these other cultures besides jollof. But yeah, shout out to Ghana, man. Just everything was just so beautifully done. The culture, just everything. 10 out of 10.
I have been watching iShowSpeed store across different African countries, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and now Ghana. And what stood out to me wasn't just the crowd or the excitement, but the history behind the welcome. Africa is not just a destination, it is a continent with deep history, ancient civilizations, rich cultures. Hi guys, my name is Glory and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching today's video. And communities that have always valued hospitality. Tourism here isn't only about sightseeing, it's about sharing stories, memories, traditions, music, food, and identity. Please let's watch more of the clip of people's reactions to iShowSpeed store in Ghana and Africa.
I watched iShowSpeed live stream in Ghana for 5 hours. I don't normally watch his live, so the only reason I watched it was because it was in Ghana. But what was interesting was that you could see a lot of talents. Like, I feel like the reason why it was so long, it was 5 hours, was because there were just so many people that had talent and they wanted to show their talents to him. The sad part about the live was that you could really see the greed of a few is overshadowing all the talent that is out there. There was not a lot of time spent on people that were raw, they were pure, and they were really trying to show their talent. Whereas, like, people who you knew, like, somehow they are trying to make it about themselves by, like, the way they introduce themselves, from the titles that they use, and then, you know, the guy doesn't care about your name, but you want to mention that is your, like, you want to mention that, oh, remember me, this is me, right? Or like advertise it out there. I really love how they ended it because it was just funny. I loved the ending, but then there were two major things in the live stream that were really heartbreaking to watch. The first one was the naming ceremony. They did like a naming ceremony for him to, like, basically give him a Ghanaian name. And in essence, this is very beautiful. But in action, such events, they consume so much time, right? You know, for such a fast live stream, I think it was maybe they needed a different setup. And to see, like, the MPs come in and by forces, like, pushing his children to come on TV, it was just, I don't know, it was just...
You see how when Speed was streaming in other countries, they was calling him out of his name? They was being racist. He's not going through any of that in Africa. In Africa, it looked like Speed is living his best life. You could feel every bit of the love in his streams. This young man met the president of Angola. He's taking time with these people. He's racing people. He raced the African flag. You see how the African people is showing Speed love? Why wasn't Speed getting that love anywhere else? And not saying that he wasn't getting love fully, but he's not getting no hate in Africa. Why is that? Y'all remember the streams. People clipped those streams up. When Speed was in Europe, nasty work. Speed is in Africa and people are treating him like a human being. That says a lot. And you would think the way these people paint pictures about Africa, about people in Africa, that they wouldn't be treating Speed how they're treating Speed. But as we can see, Speed is being treated like a natural human being. And he is around very civilized people in Africa. Get that. Watch the stream.
So to my American people, because, you know, iShowSpeed is in Africa. As you can, like, clearly see, he is up in Africa. I think he went to Angola already, in South Africa. He's having a fabulous time. He brought in the New Year's in South Africa. So everybody, because I'm seeing a lot of, like, everybody's having like a reaction to this, but, you know, I'm talking about, you know, my black people out here in America. I've been to Ghana this year. I've been to Ghana. And for the most part, I had a really good time. And it's good to explore different places. So, you know, you can get a different, like, you know, like feel for the different countries. And, you know, every country isn't heaven. It's just that from someone that's been to the continent of Africa, I would say go. And a few things about Ghana is that it's extremely safe. Stay in an Airbnb. The people are hella friendly. The food is really good. I'll be in Kenya this year and Nigeria. So, you know, my people, visit.
What we are seeing in Ghana is also part of a bigger African story. Across the continent, there is a deep-rooted culture of community. People don't just exist side by side. They live together. Food is shared. Music brings people together. Elders, youth, strangers, everyone has a place. What we are seeing in the store is Africa being Africa. not the version often shown through struggle or tragedy, but the version built on joy, pride, resilience, and love, the version where people welcome you not because you are famous, but because you are human. And for many in the Black diaspora, moments like this hit deeper. They remind us that Black culture didn't start in pain, it begins in connection, creativity, and community. And you can still feel it in places like Ghana. Please, if you made it thus far, do well to support the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And please leave your honest thoughts below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.